In Creo Parametric drawings, you can create your own custom symbols that you want to use. Let's say that I want to create a symbol for first article inspection. To do that, let's go to the Annotate tab, and here on the ribbon we have the symbol drop-down menu. If you go to Custom Symbol and you don't have any symbols loaded in your Creo Parametric session, you'll be able to browse them and put new ones. But from my drop-down list, I only have a couple of drawing symbols loaded in here. Let's cancel out of here. To create my new symbols, I'm going to go to the drop down again, and this time choose Symbol Gallery. And this is going to open up the menu manager with a number of different commands. We can define new symbols, redefine existing ones, delete symbols, write them out to disk, and also set our symbol directory and show the name of different symbols that already appear on the sheet. Let's start off by setting the symbol directory. And I like to store my symbols in the symbols folder. That's good. Now to create my new symbol, I will click on the define command in the menu manager. This is going to be for first article inspection. So let's type in FAI and then hit the enter key or the check mark. And it's going to change the interface. It's going to go back to a Pro Engineer Wildfire interface. And this honestly can be kind of difficult because people who have been using Creo Parametric aren't used to this. Let's take a look over on the right. Here we have the symbol edit menu. Later on, we will use attributes. If you already have geometry on your drawing, you could copy that, or you could copy an existing symbol and then alter it. We've got some other different commands in here. And the groups command I will go into in another video. Let's start off by creating some geometry. You'll notice right now I have a C-size sheet open. What I find helps is to turn on the display of a grid and turn on some different sketcher preferences. Let's go to the sketch drop-down menu and sketcher preferences. And here we see that we have some different options in here. So I'm going to make a fairly regular symbol. So I'm going to have grid snap turned on. And some of these other different options I don't want. We could snap to horizontal, vertical. I like chain sketching. What that means is it's sort of like how sketch mode works by default, where your last endpoint is your new start point. If you don't have chain sketching turned on, you always have to click your start and end point. You're not just continuing at the end of the last line. And also parametric sketching. That means whatever you are using to sketch is automatically going to be available as a reference for snapping or for various different constraints. So that's good for the sketcher preferences I'm going to use now. I recommend that if you're working on a new symbol, turn your preferences on or off as necessary. That's good. Let's click the close button. And I turned on grid intersection, so now I want to see my grid. So let's go to the view drop-down menu. And here we have the draft grid command. I can show the grid from here. Right now it's a really, really big grid. Again, this is a C-size drawing, so I have really big blocks on here. Let's change the grid parameters for the size of the grid. You can change the X spacing and the Y spacing independently of each other, but usually I like them to be the same. Let's click on X and Y spacing. Right now my grid spacing is 1 inch, which is pretty big. Let's change this to 1/8 of an inch, and it's going to make my screen a little bit cluttered. I have a very fine grid there, but now at this point I'm going to zoom in to about the size that I want for my symbol. Let's click Done Return out of here, and then we'll leave the Grid Modify menu open. It'll collapse on its own. And for the next thing I want to do is I want to sketch some different lines in here. Let's go to the Sketch drop-down menu and then choose Line and then Line Chain. And for this particular symbol, I'm going to make it basically a box with a hat. And since I have Grid Snap turned on, you see how it's locking to the grid intersection. We also have the References dialog box for what we want to snap into. So let's start off with just creating a box, and then down to this point over here. And again, you can see the different constraints that we're getting as we're snapping. Click left over there. And as I'm creating these different entities, they're automatically being added into my references for my various different constraints. And then let's click over here. You know what? I decided I don't like my geometry. Let's close out of here, and then I can select the line. Let me get out of that mode, and actually this is a horizontal line I don't like. If you don't like it, you can click on it, and then from the mini toolbar choose delete. Let's go back to sketching lines again. Again, sketch line, line, and maybe I want it to be out over here. That's good, and then over there. I'm basically making a little house with a hat. And let's click close out of the references dialog box. Hit the middle mouse button to get a couple of times to get out of the sketching mode. And there you can see the geometry. Let's close the symbol attributes dialog box. And I've got my geometry on here. I'm not going to create any other geometry. Let's turn off the display of the grid. View, draft grid, and hide grid. That's good. Now let's take a look at putting some text in here. So I want to have a number or any variable text that someone can place inside of this symbol. For that, let's go to the Insert drop-down menu and then choose Notes. And here we have the note options in here. So I'm going to do the note with no leader. I'm going to enter it manually. I want it to be horizontal. We'll do a standard note. And for the justification, let's choose center. And for placing my note, let's click on the Make Note command. And for placing it, I'm just going to eyeball it right in the middle of the symbol that I've created. When I do that, I get the symbols dialog box for any of the standard symbols that you want to use inside of here as part of your notes. And if you just want it to be straight text, you would enter in those different values in here. But if you want the text to be variable, if you want the user to be able to change the values when they enter it, you're going to use backward slashes and then the name of a variable. So let's use backward slash. I'm just going to call this FAI, and then backward slash again, and then hit the enter key. And if you want it to be a multi-line note, you could enter in additional text, but I just want that one line in there, and that is good. Let's click the done return out of here. And if you wanted to, right now I think it's snapped into a grid point, but you could adjust the location and the sizing of it. But for the sake of this is good enough. Now for the last few things I need to do in order to use my FAI symbol, let's go to the attributes. Oh yeah, and by the way, I used a variable name that is the same name as the symbol. You don't have to do this. You could use this in here, and you might have multiple pieces of variable text in your symbol. For placing this, we can specify how we want to locate this on a drawing. So I could choose free placement. And for that, maybe I want the person to be able to use the middle of the symbol. For a left leader, let's see, a leader going to the left of the symbol. Maybe I want that to be over here. Let me make sure pick origin and then pick over here. That's good. For a right leader, let's have the right leader be over there. And for the symbol instant height, I almost never do fixed. You can make it variable based on the drawing units, the model units, or text related. Let's choose variable text related. And for the text, I'll select the note that I selected. So if you change this note height, then it'll allow you to change the size of the symbol. Here we have some other different attributes. So you could set the text angle to be fixed. Here we're going to allow elbows. You can allow the geometry mirror if you want, the text to mirror, and the text to flip, but I don't need any of those different options. For the next part, let's go to the variable text tab, and here we have text that has that's allowed to be variable. And for the preset values, maybe I want to add some values in here, like a value of 1 and 2 and 3. Maybe I also want to add a few letters in here, A, B, and C. And here's a box that you can check if you only want them to allow selection of the preset values. But I'm going to leave that unchecked so someone could enter in other additional values inside of here. And right now it's set to text. You could also specify if you want these to be integer variables or floating point. And here from text symbols, you can also bring up this dialog box again, but I'm not going to use any of the standard symbols. So this is good. Let's click the OK button. And I'm happy with the symbol that I've created. Let's click Done out of here. And I've got my symbol in my dialog box. Let's click Done out of here for a second. If I go to Custom Symbol, here you see I have FII and I could place it on the drawing. Right now, by the way, I still have Grid Snap turned on, so I'm going to turn that off in a second. But let's cancel out of here. Before I place the symbol on the drawing, I am going to go to the Symbol Gallery and then write it out to disk. And then you can choose, if you have one already placed on here, you could pick the instance, but I'm going to select by name. And here's the new symbol name that I created. And right now, it's asking the directory that I want to store this in offset from that symbol directory that I selected. And that's why I recommend that you set the symbol directory so that you don't have to use this little entry window in order to configure what folder that you want it stored in. I'm just going to store it in that particular folder. Let's hit the check mark, and that is good. For turning off the grid snap, let's go to the sketch menu, and then inside of here, let's go to sketch preferences and turn off that snap to the grid intersection. That is good. Let's click close out of there. And now for placing the symbol, let's go to the annotate tab and then use the custom symbol command. Here's FAI, and let's say that I want this to be inspected using my symbol. And right now it's using a variable text of 1. Let's go to variable text. If I want to use a value of 2 for a different one, let me choose over here and maybe just put it next to here for 2 and then 3. And also while I'm on the general tab, here's where we have the text height. And if I wanted this to be smaller, let's change this to a value of 0.1. For the next symbols that I end up placing on here, it'll end up with a smaller text. So that's how you can see that the height is variable based on the text height. And just to show you how you can put in your own value for the text, here again I have preset values of 1, 2, 3 in A, B, and C. Let's change this value to 4 and then hit the enter key. Oops. 4. And then I could drop this on here, and there it has different text than before. So that's good. Let's click the OK button. And that way I've created a custom symbol and placed it on here. And then with your different instances, you can select on them and edit definition if you want to change the variable text that you're using or you want to change the height. Maybe I want this one to be even bigger than the others. I know that's in violation of drawing standards. They should all be, all the symbols should be the same height on the drawing. But just to show you that you can do that, there it is in there. Also, you do have the ability to specify different rotation angles. And in this particular case, I was just using the plus 90 button. But if you wanted this to be at a different angle, you could just type in the value. But again, that looks silly. So let's change that back to 0. And I'm happy with the symbols. So let's click the OK button. And in that way, you can create your own custom symbols with variable text and then place them on a drawing and also save them out to disk so that you can use them in other drawings later on. Be aware that there is a config.pro option. If you go to File, Options, Configuration Editor, and then scroll down in your config.pro dialog box, you can set the value of Pro Symbol DIR, which I currently do not have set. So let's click the Find button, and for the keyword I can type in symbol and then hit the enter key and then scroll down in this list, and here is the symbol directory, and then you could browse to the folder that you want to use and then add, change it, and then close. And then if I save this out to disk, then the next time that I open up my work in drawings, it's going to know that I want to use that Creo symbols folder as my symbol directory. So that's good. Let's click the OK button out of there. And that way I've created and configured my use of symbols on this drawing. I hope you enjoyed this video. For more information, please visit www.creowindshield.com. If you learned something from this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like this video, please click the subscribe button to be informed when new videos are uploaded. Thank you very much.